Edie Lush, and I'm here inside the Ice House at the Hyperledger Pavilion. Really pleased to be joined by Brian Behlendorf. Thanks so much for coming along.
It's great to be here.
Executive Director of Hyperledger. Now, you do blockchain technology,
right,
and you apply it to things like land ownership. Now tell me a little bit about that.
Sure. Hyperledger is an open source project. It's funded by a consortium of different companies, technology companies like IBM, banks like JP Morgan, and what we're building is a technology platform for the development of distributed ledgers, smart contracts, and all these technologies that collectively are known as blockchain technologies.
Okay, so how does that work? How is it different from what's been in existence in the past?
Sure. So we've heard about Bitcoin, we've heard about Ethereum, we've heard about these cryptocurrencies. Underneath those technologies is this concept of the shared ledger. This is a system that allows us to build an accountable, auditable, write-only ledger of everything that goes on in between transactions between you and I and others who are part of this system, and allows us to trust that that record is complete. So you can use it not only for payment networks, right, things like Bitcoin, you can also use it to track other forms of assets and turn them into digital assets. An example would be land titles, right? So in many countries of the world, the government keeps track of who owns which properties. Sometimes they do a decent job of it, sometimes not. And so a system like this, which is being trialed in the Republic of Georgia, for example, and a couple of other countries, is a way to try to give the citizens of that country confidence that the record of who owns which property is solid, and it allows finance organizations to know they can make loans to those citizens with that asset securitized, knowing it's not going to disappear in a puff of paperwork one day.
So in terms of financial inclusion, does this mean that the entire cost of looking after these things is lower?
The cost is lower, the auditability is much higher, and the accountability is higher, and allows us to build these systems in a place where we may not trust that the governments keep faithful record of what's going on, that the businesses are incorruptible. It allows us to get things done and build these common systems of record.
Where do you think it's going to go next, besides land? Where do you think that the blockchain could be applied?
Well, there's trials already underway in tracking diamonds, the flow of diamonds, who owns what. Also, it's a useful way to keep blood diamonds out of circulation, right? It's also being trialed in the fishing industry as a way to try to keep track of where fish are caught and track that all the way through the supply chain.
So whose boats are catching what fish where?
You should be able to walk into a store one day, scan a barcode or scan a QR code and see the provenance of that fish all the way back to the boat that it was caught. And most importantly, suppliers will be able to make sure that when fishermen bring the fish to market, right, or the retail shops when they buy it from suppliers, that they know they're buying fish that was caught as per international regulation and not in a place they shouldn't have been caught.
Brian, thank you so much for stopping by the Hyperledger Pavilion here in Davos, and I'm Edie Lush.